Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Lune, and I hope you're well, and if you're not, I hope you are well soon. And we'll get right into the message. So, I have been noticing some interesting occurrences in people's lives, including my own. It feels like there are a lot of big changes occurring for people right now. And I want to say it's since September, really, maybe even August, that there's been these really big shifts. But I feel like for a lot of people, at least for me, that I've noticed is that around October or this fall season that transition from summer into fall, there's a lot of big transformations that occur, like big events. And you may be going through something very difficult right now, or you are going through a shift that is oh, my timer went off. Interesting. So yeah, if I'm hearing it's time for someone, or like this is it, like this is where your new life begins, is what I'm hearing. That's interesting. Um, and I guess whoever you are and whatever you're experiencing, you know what that means for you. But it's like I'm hearing go time for some reason. And it's weird because you may be going through something either very difficult, like maybe something really crazy happened in your life, and you're a little bit afraid and you're like, "Oh my gosh, what am I going to do?" Or you know that you need to make a decision, but you have that hesitation, that a little bit of fear of like, "Well, what if this happens? What if that happens?" And so interestingly enough, I have been having this conversation kind of today and a little bit in from yesterday with people around me. Um, and actually, the rooster and sunflower communication, you may be noticing that your communication with others is revealing a lot of information to you right now. And introspection. And that's going to, being able to introspect on these conversations, I feel like is going to give you a lot more insight into the choices you need to make or the circumstances you're in, and what choices to make to either use the circumstances you're in to your benefit or to leave the current circumstances into better circumstances for yourself. I feel like observing that communication and conversations you've been having with people, and maybe even observing the change in your communication with people in general. Like maybe in the past you had a difficult time, like, I suppose, speaking up for yourself or asserting certain truths because you are afraid of backlash. I feel like maybe you are transitioning out of those types of dynamics and becoming more comfortable voicing your opinions and setting boundaries, or being like, yes, maybe that's what you want from me, but this is what I want and this is my life. And your opinion can be valid in your mind, but it doesn't have a say over how I decide to live my life, type of thing. That is something I'm noticing, right now, is that there's a real emphasis on this is your life, no one else's life. And so the choices that you make are your own. People can have opinions, they can give you advice, they can say this might be the best for you or this might be the best for you. And maybe their opinions can be insightful. That's what I'm saying, to introspect on that communication, on what people are telling you. So consider what people are saying, but then come back to yourself. Come back to your the wood wife, trust your inner wisdom. And right, oh yes. The autumn fae, go slowly and listen closely for the words of the tree spirits. Which is interesting because my mom and I were talking about earlier, like going outside and hugging trees, which so random, but it seems like it came up with this card. So maybe some of you need to go outside and ground and literally just sit and hug a tree. Maybe just go hug a tree, that could be good for you. Just get outside and get quiet with yourself. Get your nervous system regulated is what I'm hearing. And you will know exactly what you need to do. And how I know that you will know exactly what you need to do, this is how it will feel. You will be sitting outside if you decide to go outside. I mean, I would hope so if you're gonna ground. So go outside, and you don't have to listen to me, by the way. I'm just giving you insight. But I would suggest to go outside when you can. Maybe bundle up if it's cold for you. But go outside, sit near a tree, or just sit somewhere. Maybe hug a tree, maybe don't. Go to the beach, I don't know, somewhere. Sit down and just get really, really still and really quiet. Or if it's hard for you to get still, maybe like go for a walk. But don't listen to music, just listen to the sounds of nature. Get really quiet with yourself and with nature and listen. In that calm, in that silence, you will find the exact insight that you need to make the best possible decision right now, even if it doesn't make logical sense yet. I say yet because these things do make sense over time. The logical mind cannot see everything. This was another thing that I was talking about recently. When you are in your body and something difficult or jarring is occurring, there is the tendency to act impulsively in order to bring back safety to yourself. So your body's in survival mode, it starts freaking out. It's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? The thoughts keep coming because your mind and body feel unsafe, so they are actively trying to find a way to compensate to bring you back to safety. So these thoughts are the fear is meant to help you in order to survive, but in many cases that fear can hijack your conscious mind and you start acting subconsciously out of autopilot, out of survival mode, essentially. And so you can't make the best decisions that are fully aligned for you when you are acting out of survival mode. Knowing that's why it's important to get quiet. But you may notice that when you're in that state of survival, you can't think beyond it. It's almost like it shuts off and you start making decisions out of fear rather than wisdom. So again, we're trying to understand that your body, like, there's nothing wrong with fear. Your body's trying to protect you. And it's trying to protect your basic physical needs in the body that you are in. That is valid and that is important. That is completely important. But recognize that your soul knows more than your body and your mind do in the current moment. Your soul has wisdom that is beyond the present moment and beyond the human understanding, the human perspective. Because your human self is thinking about this particular moment and the possibility of what could happen in the future and the past. What if the past repeats itself? What if this comes back to bite? Like, it's all this fear because you want safety. When you come to your soul, you realize that you're already safe, regardless of what is happening outside of you. The real you, the internal you, is safe. And when you come to calm, you can make the most rational decisions that will bring you back to safety a lot easier, a lot quicker. And sometimes I feel, actually, it's a little counterproductive, it seems, but when you make decisions out of fear, sometimes you end up creating more disastrous circumstances for yourself unintentionally because you are creating and deciding from fear, and so you're going to bring that back to you, if that makes sense. So there's really an emphasis on go to your soul, get quiet for your insight. I feel like if you're on my channel, you know this. But sometimes we just need someone to say it to us again, right? To remind us as we forget, because on the human journey and the spiritual journey of being a human in our bodies, we forget things and we re-remember them all the time. It's a constant forgetting and re-remembering. Like, it's really interesting. But get quiet, please. Please. And yeah, oh my gosh. Keep going. Trust in yourself. You have all you need. And look at that little light right there. That's literally your soul. What was I just talking about? You have all you need right here inside of you to help you get where you need to go and to bring you to safety in your body. Your soul knows. You actually know. You just need to trust yourself and come back to yourself rather than externalizing and staying in survival mode. If you know you're in survival mode, then maybe you need to do things that will help regulate your nervous system. Maybe you need to listen to something that's going to make you feel better emotionally so that you can calm down. Maybe you know ways that help you calm down and you need to do those exact things and then get quiet and then start allowing yourself to gain the insight. You do whatever you need to do to regulate yourself and get yourself to a balanced place, and then you get the insight. Okay? So that's the message I'm getting so far. Very interesting. So there may be really big changes in your life happening right now, and you need to trust yourself and observe accordingly, get quiet accordingly, and you will make the right decision. You need to trust yourself and trust your soul. Okay? Interesting here. And then we have the Fox and Ivy, Adaptability. The Elk and Ash, we have Strength. It's a Strength card coming out, huh? And here we go, the Chipmunk and Laurel, Success, right? Your adaptability and your strength are going to bring you to success. You're very adaptable. If you are on my channel and you are watching this, you've learned a lot of lessons, or you are heading in that direction of learning many lessons that make you a very adaptable person. And so you start to realize, again, coming to your soul, that you can handle anything. As long as you are listening to your inner compass, you will always get exactly where you want to go or where you need to go. That is the understanding, that is the truth of the matter. And Elk and Ash, strength. You have forged enough strength to be successful. You are stronger than you know. What is that quote? It's like, you're braver than you know, smarter than you think, stronger than, it's like something like that, stronger than you know. Whatever that quote is, I think it's like Winnie the Pooh. Literally that quote. Literally that quote. Okay? You can do so much more than the survival mode version of you understands, can see. And why do you think people cling on to systems or to beliefs that have been conditioned onto them? It's because they don't know anything else. It's because the unknown is where the fear is, the uncertainty is. And what does your body want the most? It wants safety. So of course, you are fighting against fear, essentially. But you have to realize you don't even have to fight the fear. All you have to do is acknowledge the fear and then step back from it. Acknowledge your fear. Allow it to be known that you are afraid right in that moment. And then speak to your mind and speak to your body with your soul. Soothe your human self with your soul. And then once you feel calm and safe again with your soul, everything comes to you with ease. I promise you that. That is a very powerful message today. Wow. So, if you're going through a hard time right now, trust me, that hard time is just an indication of a pivot that is bringing you to better days. That is what it is doing. Something that may seem terrifying is actually the exact fuel you need to get to where you want to be and to be who you want to be. I noticed this in my own life. I was looking back on certain moments in time where I was absolutely terrified about something occurring or like making a decision or acting on something. And then every single time I did have this feeling that I need to do this, but there was fear, right? Every time that I pushed through that fear, I acknowledged the fear and said, yes, I'm afraid right now, but also I know that this is right because I feel it in my soul. I feel it in myself. I can trust my intuition. When I acknowledged that as well and I took action, I only got blessings. Only good things happened from that place. Because you're not deciding out of fear. You're deciding out of trust and surrender. You're deciding out of your soul. And that creates more of that as well. I hope that makes sense. So, yeah, that is the message. And I hope you're all well. And if you're not, I hope you're well soon. And trust in yourself, please. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.